Saddhā, Saddhā, Saddhā. Sansāra sāroga vinītani saṁ sannīta sātaṁ sucisāradhi saṁ sandhīrakaṁ sonna tanupalāsaṁ Sanglāpadesiṁ paname bisāsaṁ Samantā cakkavālesu atrā gaccantu devatā Saddhammaṁ munirājassa sunantu sagga mokkadaṁ Dhammasavana kālo ayam badantā Dhammasavana kālo ayam badantā Dhammasavana kālo ayam badantā Namo tansa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Saddhā mūlikā samdepi kusalā dhammā Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Saddhā, Saddhā, Saddhā. Dear friends in the Dhamma, today we are going to discuss one of the main topics in Buddhism is Saddhā. Saddhā in Pali language. In Sanskrit we say it Shraddha. In English we say it as confidence. Sometimes people use faith, but faith belongs to some divine religions. But here we usually use confidence. This is a very important quality that we should create in our mind at the very beginning on the path of liberation. Saddha means confidence in the triple gem, the Buddha and the Sangha and the Dhamma. Buddha says Saddha is a wealth, priceless wealth or gem. Why does Buddha say it as a gem? Gem usually brings us happiness. When we have gems, we are so happy. We think that we are wealthy if we have gems. And also we think that when we have gems, we are rich. That material gems brings us some facilities, but no real happiness. Because sometimes that gems bring us sorrow, fear and lamentation. But these priceless gems, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, never bring us suffering or sorrow. When we think something, our inner peace increases. Actually, that is the real wealth or gem. When we think Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, we are happy. What is the reason? Our mind has no defilements, negative thoughts whenever we think Buddha, Dhamma or Sangha. What is the reason? Because Buddha has no defilements, no negative thoughts. Dhamma has no negative thoughts. Sangha, Buddha's noble disciples, are so pure and calm. When we think these gems Actually, our mind is so pure and calm. That is why we are happy. When we think our material gems, we are happy. But that happiness is not permanent. Anytime it can change to sorrow or suffering. But these priceless gems, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, never bring us suffering or sorrow. Anytime, whenever we think Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, we are so happy. When we think Buddha's noble qualities, when we think the qualities of the Dhamma, when we think the qualities of the Sangha, the order of the Buddha's noble disciples, our mind is so pure and calm because they are pure and calm. Saddhā or confidence is very important on this path. You know, as ordinary people, we do a lot of things in the world with confidence. But sometimes some people think that I don't believe anything. Until I see something, I don't believe anything. Some people say in the world, you have seen. But be sure, we believe a lot of things without proof. For example, how do you believe your birth certificate? Have you done some experiments or researches? Never. We believe those things with confidence. When you go to a doctor, you never search his certificate. When we see his certificate on the wall, we believe he has qualifications. We get medicine from him with confidence. When we go to a classroom in a college, we never ask certificates of teachers. We believe that they have enough qualifications. That is why we go to the classroom. And our birthday, how do we believe our birthday? Because our mom told that this is the day that you were born. Then we believe it. How do we believe our mom or dad? Did you do DNA test? Never. We believed. Actually, in this situation, in this life, we believe a lot of things with confidence. But they are not false. They are true. Especially when we go to the path of liberation. At the very beginning on the path of liberation, we should have confidence about what Buddha taught. Especially Buddha's enlightenment. We should think, we should have confidence Buddha's enlightenment. It is not just a blind faith. Buddha never appreciated blind faith. Buddha asks anyone. Buddha invite the audience, the people, disciples to ask his enlightenment. Buddha asks some people, if you have any problem about my enlightenment, you can ask. If you want to check whether I have defilements in my mind, you can check anywhere. Buddha openly invites people to ask him. Here especially, when we go to the path of liberation, first we should have confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. Here we think the qualities of the Buddha, the nature of the Dhamma, the qualities of the Sangha. Among these three things, the very important thing is understanding and confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. You know, when we go to a place never we have been, first of all, what should we have? We have an address, we have the map, we have details where we are going to. until we reach the destination, we have confidence that this address is correct. If we criticize the address, never we can reach the destination. When we ask someone how we go to that place that I didn't go, then according to his details, we believe it until we reach the destination. When we go to the place where we wanted to go, our confidence is over. Saddhā is also like that. Until we attain enlightenment, we have confidence Buddha's enlightenment. When we reach liberation, our confidence in Buddha, our confidence is over. Then it is our self-experience. Here, first of all, we should know the qualities of these three things, the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. When we think these three things, we have a safety in our mind. That is why we mention these three things as refuge. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. It doesn't mean that Buddha brings us to the heaven or enlightenment. It means that we take these three things as an advice, as a teaching to go to the enlightenment. Buddha says that I can't bring you to the enlightenment. I am only a teacher. I am only a guide. I point out the path. The duty to go to the place is yours. We respect Buddha because he pointed out this path and also he attained enlightenment by himself. And also we think, we believe, we are confident in Buddha's enlightenment. When we listen to Buddha's message, when we see his teachings, and we can see the results. For example, there are some qualities in Dhamma. One of them is visible results. Visible results means sandittika and immediately effective, akhalika. When we practice some kind of meditation techniques, such as loving kindness, breathing meditation, practicing mindfulness, we see some results. We can overcome suffering. Immediately we can see the result. Then our confidence gradually increases to go on this path. That is very, very important. When we practice some kind of other merits such as generosity, virtue, it takes some time. But when we practice meditation, especially concentration meditation and insight meditation, we can see the visible results, immediately effective in this Dhamma. Then our confidence little by little increases. Reflecting on these three things, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, contemplating on Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha are meditation techniques. Meditation techniques means when we think Buddha's noble qualities, negative thoughts, defilements in our mind go away. This is one of the meditation techniques. Buddha-anusati, Dhamma-anusati and Sangha-anusati. It is not just a meditation technique that is useful to concentrate our mind in the present moment with mindfulness, but it is beneficial to concentrate our mind, and it is beneficial to reflect on impermanence when our mind is concentrated. Therefore, it is very important to know the Buddha's noble qualities. All Buddha's qualities can be included into 9 categories. The things that we recited when we were meditating. Such indeed is the exalted one. Itipiso Bhagava Araha, Arahang worthy. Samma Sambuddho, supremely enlightened. Vijjacharana Sampanno, endowed with knowledge and conduct. Sugato, well gone. Lokavidu, knower of the world. Anuttaro Purisdhammasarati, incomparable trainer of persons to be tamed. Saddhā Deva Manusanam, supreme teacher of gods and men. Buddha, enlightened. Bhagava, exalted. When we think these noble qualities, confidence in Buddha's enlightenment gradually increases. It is very important to go on this path. Especially, the confidence in Buddha's enlightenment increases when we think the Dhamma. That is why Buddha says, Yo Dhammam Passati Somam Passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. Seeing the Buddha, the way of seeing the Buddha is seeing the Dhamma. As much as we listen to Buddha's message, our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment gradually increases. Then, the confidence in the noble disciples also gradually increases. These 3 things are interrelated. Confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha are interrelated. When we have confidence in Buddha's enlightenment, then the confidence in the Dhamma increases. When we have the confidence in Buddha's teachings, then the confidence in the Sangha increases, develops. This is the nature of these 3 gems. And also, when we think these 3 things, the duration that we think about these 3 things gradually increase. In a day, the time that we think of these 3 things gradually increases, the time of period. It means our mind doesn't go to another way that brings us suffering. We have no time to think about politicians and other robes or other rubbish. We don't talk about those things because we don't like to suffer. We like happiness. For example, if you have a good friend who has a lot of virtuous qualities, when you think that person, you are so happy. When he comes from far away, you are getting ready to accept him. Your mind is so pure. When you think that person, what is the reason? His qualities. When you think that person's qualities, your mind is blooming. Then these 3 things are the most important things that we have in our life is to gain happiness. And especially, we should understand the nature of the Dhamma, what Buddha explained. Buddha says very clearly, whether a Buddha appears or not in the world, this reality is forever. But in this time, a Buddha, Samma Sambuddha, realizes this message and he proclaims this message to the world kindly. Because Buddha discovered and proclaimed this message, we respect Buddha, but Buddha says very clearly, this message doesn't belong to even the Buddha. Buddha's teachings are discoveries. There are two things in the world, discoveries and creations. What are the creations? This building is a creation. Your shirt is a creation. There are some things, discoveries that we can create. What they are? Water, oil, gems, jewelries, salt, sand. We can create them. We can only discover them. Buddha's message also like a discovery. Although we say it Buddhism, but it doesn't belong to even the Buddha. We respect Buddha because he himself realized and discovered this message. But this message doesn't belong to him. There are 4 qualities of the Dhamma. Buddha says the qualities of the Dhamma. The Dhamma well expounded by the exalted one. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. Direct visible, Sanditiko. Immediately effective, Akaliko. Inviting one to come and see, Ehipassiko. Opanaiko, leading onwards, and to be personally realized by the wise person. Pacchatthang vedita bovinyohi. These are the qualities of the Dhamma. Especially, there is a very special qualities here. That is, Buddha says, come and see. Buddha never says you that come and believe. Come and see. How we see this message? Throughout practicing it in our life. When we practice virtue or morality, when we practice concentration meditation, when we reflect on impermanence, at that moment we can overcome suffering. Then we don't depend on outside. Now we depend on outside. When outside people and things are very clear and calm, we are so happy. When outside things and persons are upset, we get upset. Now our mind is fixed in outside material things and persons. But Buddha pointed out the way how we depend on inside our mind. Then, no matter whether the environment is complex or not, we can make a balanced mind that nobody can disturb it. When we see something, actually we have only the colors. We create persons and things by our mind. When your mom sees you, she tells that this is my son. When your younger brother meets you, he may say that this is my ayah. When you meet your grandma, she may say that this is my grandson. But you are the same person. According to their point of view, they create a person. Actually, they first see only your colors. They create a person as a son or brother or grandson according to their point of view, they are inside. When we listen in some sound, first we have only sound. Then the next step we think in our mind, this is the sound of fingers. This is the sound of a person. This is the sound of a dog. We create it inside. According to our mental condition at the moment, we create something. If we have this understanding, as soon as we see something, we look at inside, not outside. When we go to the mirror, as soon as we see the mirror, we can see our reflection, our shadow there. When that reflection is beautiful, we are happy because we know the reason I am beautiful. But, when a dog goes to the mirror, what happens to him? When he looks a dog in the mirror, he barks. He is jealous. Why? He thinks that there is another person there. We are not ignorant in front of the mirror, but we are ignorant everywhere. Other scenes also like that. We create beauty or ugliness according to our point of view. First, we have only sounds, colors, smells and feelings. It is not good or bad. It is not wholesome or unwholesome. According to our point of view, our mental condition in the present moment, we create something. If we have mindfulness and understanding, as soon as we experience something, our mind is not fixed in outside, we reflect on inside. We think our mind. And it doesn't mean that we have a permanent mind. When we keep in our mind in panya or wisdom, we reflect on impermanence of our mind too. Then we can go away from material things and mind, and our mind is in wisdom or panya. If we have this understanding, not only knowledge, but also reflecting on impermanence and mindfulness, if we have this understanding, we have overcome suffering. Nobody can disturb our peace of mind. Now, anybody can bring us happiness or suffering. If we are happy looking something outside, it means be sure we are ready to unhappy when we see some negative things. And if we have this understanding, we have a balanced mind, equanimity, whatever we see, whether good or bad, whether beautiful or ugly. When we see this reality, actually we have a very huge confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. Now we worship like this. When we have this understanding, we worship the Buddha kneeling down because this is the path of liberation. Even though we earn a lot of money, even though we have several doctorates from famous universities in the world, we are unable to overcome suffering. Our happiness or our getting rid of suffering depends on how far we have overcome ignorance. What is the ignorance? Ignorance means when we experience something outside throughout our six senses, we think there is some permanent thing outside. And also we think that before I experience, there was something outside. And also we think after experience, those things remain. But we have no ready-made things in our senses. You go to the shop and you buy some ready-made clothes. We think that according to conventional truth, there are some material things which are ready-made. But in our intellectual world, we have no ready-made things. We create something at the moment. Now I look at you, I am happy because you are a good boy. When somebody told me that you have done this kind of misbehavioral thing, then when I look at you, what happens to my mind? Then my mind changes. Then again, another person comes and says me that, no, that person didn't do that, another person has done that. Then, according to the present mental conditions, we create something. That experience is not permanent in my mind. Not only the present thing, but even past experience. For example, when you think your Malli, your brother, then you think that now he is sick. And you are so compassionate, you are so kind. When you think your brother's misbehavior, you may get angry. When you think now he has a lot of credits in his class, then you are proud of your brother. At the same time, from time to time, from moment to moment, that experience changes. Our whole experience that we receive through our six senses, not only mind but throughout our eyes, nose, body, every experience is like that. If we have this understanding, little by little, our energy, courage, dedication increases to go forward on this path. What is the reason? This is the real path of getting rid of suffering. Even though we have a lot of children, even though we have a lot of friends and relatives, although we are very educated and rich, actually we can't overcome the suffering that we have. This is the only path that we can get rid of suffering. If we see this reality, when we see this visible result, our energy gradually increases. Saddhā, Virya. Energy increases. And also mindfulness. We try to keep our mind in mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best friend that we have. Whenever we are in mindfulness, we are away from suffering. Whenever we are away from mindfulness, it means we are with suffering. Until we are in mindfulness, nobody can disturb our peace of mind. When we are in mindfulness, in one side, we keep our attention in the present moment, and also we reflect on impermanence. It doesn't mean that, don't misunderstand, it doesn't mean that we forget our past or future. We can remember anything which happened in the past. We can remember anything which will happen in the future. But we know very well, now I read my mind, not the real situation. When you think someone who did some bad thing, as soon as you remember something without mindfulness, you may get angry. With mindfulness, you can remember anything. Then anger doesn't come to your mind. Because you know very well, now I read my own mind. At that moment, that person is a good person. Now he is worshipping Buddha, he is meditating sometimes. But still we are in the past experience. A person can blame you once. If you are not mindful, you are blamed again and again. If there is a person who has blamed you, when you think that person without mindfulness, what happens to you? You are blamed again. Buddha says, if you want, you can be blamed once, but no second time. And in this situation, we should understand the importance of practicing mindfulness. That is why Buddha says, practicing mindfulness is the only way to overcome suffering. Practicing mindfulness is the only way for the purification of beings. Practicing mindfulness is the only way to get rid of sorrow and lamentation. When we have this mindfulness, our concentration living in the present moment in wholesome objects gradually increases. Concentration, samatha. Not only concentration that we have, because we started this path with the understanding of impermanence, arising and ceasing. That is why Buddha says, Samahito bhikkhave yatha bhutam bhajanati. When your mind is concentrated, you see the reality, the impermanence, which happens every moment, arising and ceasing. Here, we are talking about the triple gem, Saddhā, Buddha's enlightenment, the qualities of the Dhamma, and the Sangha, the noble disciples of the Buddha. When we have this understanding in the Dhamma, the confidence in the noble disciples gradually increases. We respect them because they dedicated their life for a spiritual life, virtuous life. And also we are grateful to their service. Why is that? They brought this Dhamma from generation to generation more than 2600 years. Throughout a lot of difficulties, they brought this Dhamma for a long time. If there were no Sanghas, actually we wouldn't have this kind of sublime truth. In one side, we respect their qualities, their noble qualities, inner qualities. On the other side, we pay our gratitude to their service. And also, we think their qualities always. We always live with these three things. Not physically, mentally we live with them. At home, always we think Buddha's noble qualities. When we prepare something at home, food, we offer to the Buddha. Buddha is alive in our heart. Always we think the qualities of the Dhamma. Always we think the qualities of the Sangha. Reverend Sariputta, Moggallana, Mahakasyapa, even Visakha, Sujata, Bandula Mallika, they are at our home. They are living with us. They are going here and they are in our house. Because they are our world. When we go forward with the Saddhā, a confidence, Buddha says very clearly, the special thing is, as much as we listening to Dhamma, the confidence gradually increases. That is why Buddha says, again and again, we have to listen to this message. If we want to listen to this message, we should have good friends who explain this message. If we are going to find these noble friends, we also have some kind of qualities. What are the qualities that we should have when we find a noble friend? Yes, very good. We also have some qualities. They are honesty, generosity, gratitude. These are the things we should have. There is a very special quality that we should have: intelligence. We should have an ability to identify whether they are good or bad. If we are not intelligent, even though we meet some good friends, we can't recognize them. Therefore, the special thing that we should have, that we should be intelligent. When we meet a person, throughout discussing with them, we should recognize they are the good friends. And if you have any question, you can ask. Why Buddha says the confidence in the triple gem as a priceless gem? There is some kind of value about which are the material gems, but these triple gems are priceless. Why is that? It means that we can't value because they bring us the huge advantage that leads to get rid of suffering. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone. Ordinary people think that when they are rich, when they are wealthy, they are happy. Actually, wealth or education is not the reasons of real happiness. Our real happiness depends on how far we have overcome negative thoughts which disturbs our peace of mind. We should understand there are three enemies who disturb our peace of mind. Who they are? The three unwholesome thoughts: lobha, dosa, moha, craving, anger, and delusion. Whenever we have these negative thoughts in our mind, actually we have no real happiness. Our success depends on our happiness. Our happiness depends on how far we have overcome these negative thoughts from our mind. By practicing generosity, we try to overcome attachment or craving. By practicing loving kindness, we try to overcome anger. As the result of practicing loving kindness, as soon as we see a person, we mention that person like our only son or daughter. Then how nice our mind is. And also the most important thing in Buddhism, the way that leads to get rid of ignorance. Understanding of impermanence is the way how we overcome suffering. Ignorance arises when we experience something, we think it was here. After experience, we think it is here. And also, when we experience something, we think that I experienced this real thing. Actually, this thing is created by ourselves. For example, now, when we look at this wall, this is a wall for us. We can't overcome this wall. But when there is a ghost here, sometimes he may go through the wall. It is not a wall for him. In Buddha's time, now it may be happened, but we can see it. When Buddha was living, there were some very clear water lakes. Sometimes some ordinary people go to the lake, they bring water. and they drink water. But at the same time, there were some ghosts near the lake. When they look at the lake, they see the water, but they think that is like blood. According to their internal senses, they say that is not water, that is blood. This world is created by our karmic law, our karmic energy inside. When this inside karmic law change, everything in outside may be changed. This is the nature of the world. But scientists, they do some researches, experiments. They think, this is a table, glass table for me. This is a glass table for everyone. Everyone can come and do a research, do experiments, because this is the same thing for everyone, they think. But Buddhism doesn't say it. This is a table for my senses. And also, this is a table at the moment, but it can be changed anytime, according to my internal senses. This is the difference in Buddhism. Ordinary people, they think, if this is a building for everyone. If this is a table, this is a chair, bench, everyone can come and take a seat. But this is a bench for you. There are some animals, ants here. It is a food for them. Actually, it depends on the person's mental formations. When we see this reality, actually we are hurried to realize this reality. Because we know very well, understanding of this reality depends on to get rid of suffering. Then we don't depend on outside. First, keeping our attention, mindfulness inside, we should overcome the material things. Next level, keeping our mind into the wisdom, we are free from our mind too. This is the Buddha's path, Buddha's way that he explained to overcome suffering. For that, Saddhā or confidence in Buddha's enlightenment is very important. First, we start this path with confidence in Buddha's enlightenment. After we reach the enlightenment or liberation, getting rid of suffering, we don't need to confident, because that is our own experience. We are grateful to Buddha's advice, but we don't need to believe further, because the qualities of Dhamma is Paccattam Veditabbo Vinyuhi, to be realized personally by the wise. As the result of practicing Dhamma, our confidence in the Triple Gem gradually increases. When we have confidence or Saddhā, we have not only Saddhā, but we have energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. 5 spiritual faculties gradually increase. This is the real wealth, real property. As soon as Buddha meets a person, Buddha realizes that how far you have practiced these 5 spiritual faculties in your previous lives. When we listening to Dhamma, when we think the qualities of the Dhamma, we should know the main doctrines in Buddhism. That is also very important. there are some special doctrines that Buddha has explained to realize the world. They are Four Noble Truths, for Chaturarya Satya, Three Characteristics, Trilakshana, Anicca Dukkha Anatta, Impermanence, Unsatisfactoriness, and Egolessness, and Eightfold Path, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, like that, and Dependent Origination, Paticcasamuppada, Five Spiritual Faculties, Pancha Indriya Dharma, Five Aggregates, Pancha Upadana Skandha. These are very important. Buddha says one day in the there is a very special discourse that Buddha says the nature of the Dhamma. Buddha compare his teachings to the ocean. There are valuable gems and diamonds on the bottom of the ocean. Buddha's dispensation, the Buddha Sasana, also has the same thing. In this dispensation of the Buddha Sasana has a lot of valuable gems. What they are? They are Four Noble Truths, Fourfold Mindfulness, Three Characteristics, Eightfold Path. These are the priceless gems which are in the dispensation of the Buddha Sasana. If we can find these valuable, priceless gems, then we can get the results from our life. Actually, our life is so fortunate, so valuable. We should increase our value of our life. Even though we are well educated, actually our life is not valuable. The value of our life depends on how far we have purified our mind from negative thoughts, how far we have created positive thoughts, loving kindness, generosity, compassion and wisdom. Finally, Buddha says, although a lot of doctrines that Buddha has recommended to practice in our day-to-day life, finally Buddha says, we have to practice only two. What they are? Concentration and wisdom. Keeping our mind in a particular object in the present moment, with concentrated mind reflecting on impermanence. Finally, Buddha says, don't worry, you have practiced only one thing. Even though there are 37 doctrines in Buddhism, Sattis Bodhipasika Dharma, there are 37 doctrines that we should have to follow to liberation. But finally Buddha says, when you practice only one, which is wisdom, then all other doctrines gradually increase. Panya means reflecting on impermanence. Try to reflect on impermanence of your mind. Every moment mind arises and ceases. It is not permanent. According to condition, mind or consciousness arises, ceases, arises, ceases. Every present moment ceases, influencing the next thought. But the present thought directly doesn't go to the next one. When you light a candle, you have a candle which is lighting. When you light the other candle, this fire didn't go there. You prepared the environment to light the next candle, but this fire didn't go there. Our present thought also like that. This present thought arises with the conditions. It influences next thought, but that present thought ceases immediately at the moment. Our entire life is like that. If we can succeed this present moment with mindfulness, then our entire life is successful. Because our past has ceased, Our future didn't come yet. We have only the present moment. When you think something, your entire life is that only. When you think your Malli, brother, your entire life is your brother. When you think your study, your college, your entire life is college at the moment. When you think your dad, at that time your entire life is your dad. When you think your car, which is on the street, your entire life is that car. We have only one experience at once. If we can succeed this present moment, it means our entire life is successful. For that, we have to increase our mindfulness. Mindfulness means contemplating on our mind and body, awareness of our body and mind. Finally, we have to realize 5 aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. These 5 things arise at the moment. Immediately it ceases and then again it arises. If we have this understanding, whenever you are in this understanding, nobody can disturb your peace of mind. At that time you don't feel your age. You are not old. At that time, you don't feel your sicknesses in your physical body. Although you have a very serious disease in your body, you don't feel it. Then you are in this understanding. Even though you die, at the moment, if you reflect on impermanence, you don't feel your death. You are reflecting on impermanence. At that moment, when you die, if you think this reality, what happens to you? Your death, your enlightenment, and your Nibbana, these 3 things happen at the same time. Your mind is not ready to go to a next life. Whenever we reflect on impermanence which happens at the moment, arising and ceasing, at that moment our mind is not fixed in anywhere. If our mind is fixed in somewhere, it means we are ready to go back. We are ready to go to the world. When you think your home, if you think it is impermanent, don't worry. Even though you die here, you are there in another form. That is why we find a sublime truth. Buddha says there are 3 reasons why we need a spiritual teacher and his sublime truth. Especially there are 3 challenges in our life. We should recognize these challenges. What are the huge challenges in our life? Aging, death, and rebirth. Whenever we reflect on impermanence, at that moment we have overcome aging, death, and rebirth. If we can overcome these 3 huge challenges, it means we are able to overcome any challenge in our life, because these are the biggest challenges in our life. Buddha pointed out the way how we overcome these challenges. Day by day, we should go to the destination. Actually, Buddha didn't say something that we have to become invisible Nibbana. Buddha pointed out the way to achieve the cessation of visible suffering. Some people may think that Buddha explains invisible Nibbana. No. Buddha explains the visible way that how we overcome visible suffering, visible sorrow. If we can overcome this visible sorrow and lamentation, it means that we are reaching the liberation, freedom. For that, we should have confidence in Buddha's enlightenment, and we should know the qualities of the Dhamma. When we compare the Buddha's message with other religions, the special thing in Buddhism is the explaining of impermanence. All other religions, teachings and philosophies has explained the world that before we were born, there was a world. After we die, the world remains. It is true, according to conventional truth, when we go to the second level of wisdom, according to ultimate truth. What Buddha says, not being occurred comes to occurrence. Being occurred will not go to occurrence. This moment, this experience arises at the moment, immediately it ceases. It didn't come from the past to the present. The present experience will not go to future. Our whole experience like that. When we go to the mirror, immediately our reflection appears there. Before we go to the mirror, our reflection was not there. When we go away from the mirror, our reflection doesn't remain there. Our whole experience also like that. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we taste, whatever we smell, whatever we feel, our whole experience also like that. But our ignorance doesn't believe it. Our ignorance invites us to suffer. That ignorance says that, no, my friend, before you experience it was something here. After you experience it, remains here. That is our ignorance. That is the Mara. That is the devil. We should overcome. We should defeat this devil, or Mara, or ignorance. Whenever we are with ignorance, it means we are like with the Mara or devil. Whenever we are in mindfulness, it means we are with the Buddha. We should try to increase the period of time that we live with Buddha, with mindfulness. Living mindfulness is like living in the Buddha's land. Living without mindfulness is like living with the devil. Okay, thank you so much for your good attention. I appreciate your participation and active listening. Today we discussed the Saddhā, or confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. When we understand Buddha's message, our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment, our confidence in the Dhamma, our confidence in the Sangha gradually increases. And also, when we have confidence or Saddhā, then other spiritual faculties, energy, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom gradually increase. It means day by day we are overcoming suffering. It means day by day we are defeating the real enemies who disturb our peace of mind. It means nobody or nothing can disturb our peace of mind. It means that we don't depend on outside. We depend on inside. We depend on intelligence or wisdom. Whether the world is good or bad, it doesn't matter. We have overcome suffering. While we are going forward with our education, economic situation, as intelligent presence, we should go forward on this path, because this is the real path to overcome suffering. For that, I wish you all the best. By the power of all these merits, may our departed relatives also receive these merits. May they rejoice with this spiritual energy. May they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer this spiritual energy to our departed relatives to recite in the Gatha. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive this spiritual energy. May they keep their eye on you too. May they also enhance their spiritual energy. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsaṭṭā ca bummaṭṭā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu sāsanam. Ākāsaṭṭā ca bummaṭṭā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu desanam. Ākāsaṭṭā ca bummaṭṭā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu tvaṃ saddhā. By the power of all these meritorious activities, may your all righteous wishes meet with success. May your happiness increase day by day. May you be well, happy and peaceful. May all of us attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantā ca niddukkha, bhayam pantā ca nibbhayam, sokam pantā ca nissokā, anto sambe pipānino. Dukin pelena sat, dukin midetvā, bien pelena sat, bien neti vetvā. Sovinte venasat, somnas vetvā, nitin me hamasat, suapat vetvā. May the triple gem bless you.